Hey everyone, Red Rebel Jeff Jones here. So in this video I want to talk about the recent arrest that took place of Graham Linehan at Heathrow Airport for tweets he made regarding trans women in women's sports. Now before I get into it, please like and share this video to give it a boost. So first off, what's the story? Graham Linehan, comedian and the co-creator of Father Ted, probably one of the most beloved sitcoms in history, I would say, was arrested at London Heathrow Airport on September 1st on suspicion of inciting violence against transgender people in relation to three separate posts on Twitter, now X. He was arrested at Heathrow Airport by 5 armed officers. He was then brought to a hospital due to some light injuries he received during the arrest, but was later discharged and he was released on bail on condition that he did not post on the X platform. Now, I think this is a really interesting case, mainly because Graham Linehan is probably one of the most beloved comedians and comedy show creators in the UK and Ireland. He created Father Ted, which I think was probably one of the biggest comedy hits ever. He wrote the IT Crowd, which was a brilliant show. So this is a pretty high profile guy. Now the tweets where he was arrested for, I've read them. I don't think they're that bad. I'm going to be honest. It does talk about trans women in women's sports, and he does kind of make a bad joke. But again, it's clear it's a joke. But again, they say it's inciting violence. But that's kind of the way things have gone in the UK at the moment, and that's why I'm kind of I will say I'm hesitant to go back. I've been to the UK several times. Um, I think kind of more on the ground, the people of the UK are actually not that bad. Just the people that are in power are really it's scary to kind of consider being in the country when they're in power. For one main reason, it's not a free country. And Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform Party, actually he was invited to speak at a hearing in the US where he likened the UK in terms of its disdain for freedom of speech. He compared the UK to North Korea, which, given some of the stories that we've been hearing from the UK, I would say it's a pretty apt description. I'm going to be honest, because it really is. It's really clear you are not free to speak your mind. You're not free to express your thoughts and opinions freely and openly, especially if those thoughts and opinions disagree with the narrative that the Labour government pushes. This does kind of go back into something else that Jordan Peterson has talked about before. And he talked about it he was being interviewed by Russell Howard, actually. It was a short interview, about 15 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, it was a really good one. Because Russell asked him specifically about this, about kind of comedians being the canary in the coal mines. And Jordan responded on explained that in a king's court, the fool is the only person who can tell the truth. because that's the purpose of the fool. Because he's foolish enough to speak truth to power, which is a very much needed thing. But if the king can't tolerate the fool, then he's a tyrant. I think that's actually that's a really good way of telling when someone is actually a tyrant, when they'll go after comedians. And this isn't new, by the way, especially in the UK. It is not new that they'll persecute comedians. So you had the thing with Count Dankula, it's a good few years ago now, where he didn't like his girlfriend's pug, so he made him do a Nazi salute as a joke. No, not a good joke, by the way. I think we can all agree it was a bad joke, to put it mildly. But like he was arrested and imprisoned for that. If you're intolerant of comedians and of jokes, then you're a tyrant. And this is something we see a lot about on the left. That comedian should be shut down. How dare he or she say that? Well, we know who you are. I mean, you're not the benevolent, tolerant ruler. You're not the one of virtue. You're the authoritarian. You're the tyrant. And that's what's really coming forward here with Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK. He is clearly a tyrant. And this has happened. This isn't just happened under Keir Starmer. This really grew during the Conservative years. There was a time when there was a guy, he didn't even actually write it, he just retweeted it. It was a poem about transgenders. And the police came to his house and told him, "We need to check your thinking. Tell me you're the thought police without telling me you're the thought police." Now, Keir Starmer has really pushed this forward a lot more with the Online Safety Act that he and his Labour government recently passed. And ever since then, this thing has gone mad. So, yeah, the UK is in a bad place right now. I think it's safe to say that it's not a free country. Not anymore. Which is sad given that a lot of the freedoms that places like America hold true, hold dear, those ideas of freedom actually come, they originate from the UK. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. What do you guys think? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear them. And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and do not forget to subscribe to keep up with my latest videos. The UK, I think it's fair to say, has fallen from grace. I do think that's why Nigel Farage and the Reform Party are surging so much. Because people are just tired of being lectured to and ruled by tyrants, which is what they have been for so many years.